All right, what's up, everybody? Hopefully, everything sounds okay, and we are up and running. Marvel Live, we're back another Tuesday evening with all of your most recent Marvel vs. Capcom news. So, we have an awesome squad lined up right now, so I'm going to start it with the intro of our crew tonight before we get into the gist of what our show is going to be about. Let's start off with Seif. SBK, what's up, man? How are you feeling today? Or not? Maybe. No? Wait, can you guys hear me? What's happening here? Okay, we'll come back to Seif. Wait, Kyle, can you hear me? Oh my god, can no one hear me right now? Is this what's happening? This is the beginning of the end. I can't hear anybody. Wait, hold on.
Oh god!
Oh,
I was like,
okay,
I don't
we're
want
back.
to say anything.
Wait, what happened? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're topping it out.
Oh man, I was like looking at Seif's face and I was looking at Kyle and I was like, should we say something?
This is our life. Okay, wait. So I hear you guys now. Are we good? We're good? All right, we're good. Anywho.
You sound good now. What'd you change? That's crazy.
I don't know. I just unminimized Discord.
You were like chopped and screwed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something fierce.
Should we start from the top? Let's start from the top. All right. We'll
Do
go
it again.
back. Going back to the stream will be starting soon, Slide. And then, what's up, everybody? Persia here, back. Marvel Live. First and third Tuesday of every month. You guys can catch us here. Yeah, so we have an awesome show lined up for you, lots of things to talk about, and an awesome crew ready to discuss all of the above. So I'm going to kick it off with some introductions here. Of course, some of the core crew members you've seen plenty of times. Seif, how's it going? What's up?
Hello. Hi, I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm like cooped up at school in like a recording studio room. I have my computer on a guitar amp, but I'm here talking about Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah.
And NEC was sick. I'm like so hyped to talk about Marvel.
Yes, it's going to be dope. And Kyle Merkel, what's up, man?
What's up, everyone? With stuff behind me, but I'm hyped about to talk. He was awesome, so I'm ready.
Nice, nice. Potato salad. What's up?
Yo, what's up? Long time. It feels like I think NEC was cool, but I'm also excited to talk about Battle of the Stone or Battle for the Stones. That tournament was sick as well.
Yeah, and then our special guest, the man of all the stats, Airborne, dropping that knowledge on Twitter, you know, making all of us better Marvel players. What's up? How's it going? Tell the stream about yourself.
Hey, everyone. I'm pretty tired right now. I just got done volunteering in my sister's first grade class, so dealt with first graders all day.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm a Spider-Man player from Kentucky, a former training partner with Kinder Party when we both lived in Lexington. Now I'm training battles along with him, Remy Martin, and formerly Eli when he still so. I'm most unheard of name in the team. Yeah, got picked up by One Frame Link not too long ago.
Nice.
Spit a bunch of stats for Marvel 3 during Danger Room and some other tournaments. That's me.
Well, you also put out a video recently about, you know, the community and stuff like that. And honestly, I feel like it's worth kicking off the show with a little bit of insight. So, you know, like, let people know, like, what do we need to be doing? I mean, for anybody who hasn't watched this video, you know, if you want to recap a little bit of it, because it made some rounds. It was good.
Yeah, so basically the whole purpose of it was, you know, just the tone for Marvel lately has been just all about talking about whether the game's not dead, talking about all these outside factors, just this white noise about really not the game itself. And that's not what carried us through 6 years from Marvel 3. What carried us through Marvel 3 was talking about this mindset that we need to have during neutral, what decision making we need to be doing in order to retain momentum, reverse momentum, you know, basically what we could do in order to best highest level imaginable. and I haven't really been seeing that with Infinite. It's like pure bias or anything, but I really haven't been very impressed with the highest level of play in some instances around the world. It's a bit of a scramble, and surprisingly enough, Reality Stone kind of helped tone that down a little bit, but also made it worse in most instances. So mainly just trying to drive everyone to motivate them to get those talks going, actually get some real professionalism behind it, and actually have protect them and Rain, Aliun, other people that have been putting stuff on Twitter, just trying to be more proactive about how we can progress with the game, and just drown the talks of, is this game to show you, not tell you.
Right. And we're definitely going to talk about more of that later on after we recap some of the recent tournaments. So that's just a taste of what we're going to be talking about. Other topics today are going to be Battle for the Stones results, NEC results, recent news and updates. That's more so to tie in things like what Airborne was touching on, and also, other upcoming tournaments and updates like that. And then later on, we are going to open up an open lobby on PSN for everybody to play, with some of the members of the crew. We might not be actually streaming the matches here, but Merkel's going to be taking over the streaming duties on that open lobby after the show. So definitely keep your eyes peeled, get some matches in, get that practice in, all that good stuff. So now, first topic of the day, Battle for the Stones results. That was about, like over a week ago, last weekend, not this past one, but the weekend before. That was during Capcom Cup in Anaheim, California, PlayStation Experience. Woo, this whole big, huge thing. And our grand finals match was streamed that Sunday afterwards, but the majority of the tournament happened on Friday at the Hilton Anaheim, and it was pretty interesting because there's a little bit of it that we have to take away. We have to know that it was pre-patch, but a lot of the things in the tournament were still useful. A lot of the players that we saw in the top 8 was really interesting in my opinion. And just to run down the top 8 from Battle for the Stones, it was tied for 7th, Flocker and Moise. Tied for 5th, we had Richard Wynn and Jay Wong. 4th place was Stealth, all the way from Texas. 3rd place, Ryan LV. 2nd place, Chris G, which is also really interesting because very early on in this game's lifespan are we seeing already Ryan LV versus Chris G. And then 1st place, of course, Cloud 805 with the most insane victory celebration ever. You would think TCC was the prize and the trophy at that point, but he wasn't. He was just an innocent bystander caught up in all the hype. But that was really fun. What did you guys think initially of not only the tournament itself, but top 8? Were you expecting that to be like your roundup of top 8? I'm going to start it with our special guest, Airborne.
I think the biggest surprise for me personally was that F-Champ did not make top 8. Obviously, his winner's bracket round was shafted, for lack of a better word, by the Soul Stone. But seeing him lose to Moise was a bit surprising since, although I personally feel like that's a bit of a struggling matchup with Ghost Rider Nova against Dormammu. I feel like Dormammu doesn't really get a chance to breathe, and that's what up. But he has plenty of experience against that team with Taekwa and I think a few other players in NorCal playing that team. But interestingly enough, I actually put the statistic out there that not a single Dormammu was in top 8, and everyone's been complaining about that character since day one, or before day one.
And it was pre-patch too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like Thorns lasted a whole year. So.
All right, and Marcus, any thoughts on top 8? Did you catch any of Battle for the Stones?
Yeah. So we actually started. It was me, Jonas, KP, and then we also had YLT Cole in a Facebook group chat, and we were basically just, I think almost all of the top 16 or whatever we had been commenting and watching. And I actually there was a couple of standout things for me. I believe one, this was the 16, but it was the first time Ryan LV and Jay Wong had ever played against each other. And that was a super close set. Ryan LV ended up taking that 3-2. But even going back to his first match against Kazunoko, I haven't been keeping up with Ryan LV. I don't know if he's been traveling or whatever. But the first time and only time I've seen him play this game was that Curly, the exhibition. And, you know, this was before the game had officially come out and things looking rough for him. But I was so impressed by his play against Kazunoko. I was like, this kid is godlike. Like we've already we knew that, but like I was like, he's gonna be good in any game he sets his mind to. It's not like he's like a one-trick pony, I guess is what I'm saying. So after watching him play against Kazunoko, I told everybody in the group chat, I was like, he's getting top 4. I was like, he's definitely he's making top 8, but he's gonna get top 4. And I actually, like, based off of the first round, I was like, okay, these are the players. After he played his match, I predicted the people that were getting winners top 4. I predicted all 4 of them. And the cool thing too, shout outs to Stealth, because he kind of came out of nowhere, you know, with the he won the online qualifier, the NA online qualifier the week before, and he basically kept that momentum and did really, really well in this finale tournament as well. And I think, what did he get, 4th place? And like, he was blowing people up as well. But yeah, I guess like my main takeaway, I was just super impressed by Ryan. He kind of opened my mind to some of the things you can do in this game with, like, I didn't realize that Morgan go missile hit. So he was able to get like full screen confirms because Chun-Li's dash is so fast, so he could just do missile super, bring in Chun-Li, and then her dash is so fast he could confirm full screen. And then like that was like super eye-opening, and it was like, hey, like Winter Soldier's grenade is a hard knockdown. You could basically do that the same way, you know, like so it kind of opened my eyes to like there are a lot of different ways to play this game. And his pressure was also ridiculous as well. Like, and obviously Chris G playing extremely well, and Cloud also playing super well. I think Cloud ended up beating Chris G 3-2 despite getting a stone used against him or something like that.
Well, Chris G activated his stone, but the only stone he had active at the time was Time Stone, which just nullifies any other stone, which is why Cloud didn't use any stone in Grand Finals, because he's like, if I use a stone and he negates my stone with Time Stone and beats me, then he's going to steal my only active stone, and then I have no stone. So he was if he does beat me, then...
I mean, even in Winner's side, Chris G had chose his team for him. So he basically, Cloud lost the first game. Then he had to switch to his main team the second game, lost, and then he ran it back 3 games straight to make it into the top 8, which was ridiculous. So it was a super fun tournament to watch. Like, and I kind of felt like beforehand the stones were very gimmicky, but like I felt like for the most part they didn't necessarily affect the turnout as much as I thought they would.
I agree. And Merkel, what did you think about BFTS?
I think pretty much the same. I thought the finals were, I don't know. I think the format was kind of weird. I felt like viewers had trouble finding where to go. I thought the scheduling was a little weird, putting it with the last chance qualifier for Capcom Cup while people were trying to run pools. So, and we'll talk about why that matters a little bit later, I guess. But as far as the actual play, I mean, I thought it was pretty strong. I thought it was a fun tournament. I guess I'm not particularly going to miss pre-patch Zero Dante. I think they're still pretty strong, but it's pretty dramatic to see the shift we had between Battle for the Stones and
NEC.
NEC. So,
when did you realize that Zero is strong?
No, I mean,
he's still mad good.
No, dude, because I remember me and Jonas was telling Kyle in the chat, we were like, yo, Zero's good, and he's like, I don't know, guys.
His DP is really strong. His DP super is really strong. I think that he gets he gets like super carried by the fact that his DP is super busted, and even now it's still busted.
Yeah, but once you fight against someone who knows how to bait it out and actually, you know, fight against it and be patient, then it's like not as strong as it may seem. I mean, yeah, you can still sneak it in there because it is what it is. It is invincibility, which is a gold mine in this game. But if you saw, like, I mean, we'll get to NEC later, but Christy was doing a really good job at, like, avoiding zero shenanigans, even towards the end of the set of grand finals for Battle for the Stones against Cloud. There was plenty of times where he would wait and back off and outspace DP, and then it would kind of work out for him. But then the tag system, you know, it's just like the whole combination of everything is what kind of makes Zero super broken right now, in my opinion. But yeah, Steve, you said you were gonna say something about this. What's up?
No, I mean, I, on the topic of Zero, I don't think, like, yeah, like DP got nerfed a little bit. Cool. It's all good, but like that's still not changing the fact that this character can like camp at a part of the screen no one else gets to, and then comes down with this stupid move, and then lets go of a button, and then it autocorrects, and then it wall bounces you. And then if that doesn't happen, and then you block that, then you just tag, and then you get another mix-up. I don't know. No, like, oh, you quit with that. No, but no, I don't want to talk about Zero. I hate the character.
Zero players complained about opening people up, so
yeah. But no, this tournament was crazy. Like, can we talk about some of the crazy sets that happened? And also, like, there could have been a lot of different ways this went down, because when the tournament first started, like, you know, Christy got second place, right? But his first match against Timo didn't use his stone, and it went 3-2, and he had the most broken stone. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, man, that was like I think a failure to explain the rules.
A lot of people were confused. It wasn't just him. People thought that it was like you had to use it at the start of the match and declare it, but then like Richard Wynn was like, "No, I'm going to use Soul Stone now," or something like that. But I mean,
all right, here's where I'll step in, where they literally pulled all of us to the side, players, commentators. They pulled all of us to the side, and they were like, "All right, now's your opportunity to ask any question you have about these stones, and we're going to give you an answer." They did clarify it to all of us how the stones worked, and if we did have any questions, or, you know, any loopholes that we tried to sneak in there, we asked, and they gave answers. So I can't totally say these guys didn't know what was going on, and if they didn't know what was going on, then they either showed up late to the meeting, or they just weren't paying attention. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
That's super lame, because I was rooting for, like, granted, Chris G, you know, he's Mr. Marvel at this point, and he's godlike, but me picking up Nova because of Timo being on the show and getting to talk to him, like, I was rooting for my fellow Nova buddy, or Nova dad, sorry. And yeah, it was just kind of crazy to see when he had the most broken stone, and Chris G even said it himself on his stream, like, that could have changed.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So, like, we start there, and then we also go to Aliun versus Flocker, the biggest choke of the tournament. Man has game-winning combo, and then Flocker's just like, oh, well, it's done. And then by the grace of Sandals, and Sandals alone, he drops the combo and gets the pickup. Yeah, no, and shout outs to Flocker. You know, I love when this dude does well, because no one expects him to do well, because they are just like, oh, he's washed up. He plays Mega Man X. But he got 7th place, so good stuff to Flocker. Yes, I was really hyped to see him put work with that team. And
Justin won the run back.
Yeah, no, that was a close set too. But Justin looked pretty on point. And biggest surprise for me, although, you know, you mentioned later on, like, after you got to see him play like the first game, it came to no surprise. It's like, okay, nah, this dude's actually just like a special kid. Like Ryan OV, he had probably the least amount of information going into it. There was like his matches at SCR against Richard Wynn that were on stream, and then there was like I looked for this. I found one online replay of him playing against some dude, and he played Soul Stone, and in the tournament he played Reality, but he was playing Soul Stone, and you know, it was just like a normal match, but like that was all the information you had on this guy. And then he comes in and just like plays his team, and it wasn't anything like super crazy. He just kind of played his game, kept you blocking. Like, I think there's at one point in the corner where he did like 6 shell kicks in a row, like dash up shell kicks in the corner and got him trapped. That was cool. Like, he showcased the Morgan pressure, but I think that kid's just like a phenomenal competitor. Like, not many people can come close to that. Even Chris G says himself, it's like, oh, he's ridiculous. How is he going to go toe-to-toe and beat me? Because he thinks he's ridiculous, right?
Dude, he's sick. And then I also wanted to say too. So like I said, Cole was in the chat with us, and he kind of was saying that Champ hasn't been doing so hot in their locals in NorCal, so he didn't necessarily like have not necessarily high hopes, but he wasn't surprised at like him not getting top 8, because I think a lot of people were assuming that Champ was going to get top 8, and I think. I mean, he played well, but it just wasn't enough, you know?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's caught up really fast in terms of the meta and in terms of finding new, cheaper things. Like, people are definitely catching up, but...
I think it is worth pointing out, we're talking about 3 months of people sitting down with the game, and we already see, like, these huge swings in the player meta and the team meta and how we're playing neutral and stuff. I think that's really cool.
Oh, actually, I want to ask you guys, too. Did you think that them only playing grand finals on Sunday had any effect? Do you think, like, if, like, Chris G was able to play, like, his losers finals match Sunday and then go into grand finals, do you think that would have changed anything?
I think it definitely would have changed something, but I don't think somebody lost because they had to play it on Sunday. I think it was just... No, I feel like it was a poor scheduling choice.
Yeah,
and to make people come in cold to play something of that high stakes is kind of rough.
From a viewer standpoint, it was kind of whack, where it was just like they went down to the last game, and then you're like, "Oh, that's it." Like, you know, I was like, "Man, I wish they would have just did like, you know, winners finals, losers finals, and grand finals on Sunday. That would have been cool." So it was kind of anticlimactic because it was like, "I'm ready for more Marvel action." But that's it, you know?
Yeah, it felt over. Like, it was a good set, but once it ended, it was like, oh, well, it felt like a blow up, even though it wasn't a blow up. Like, both of them played amazingly. So I don't know. If you're a TO, don't do that in the future. It's weird for the players, and it's even worse for the spectators.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, we definitely wanted to see more matches too, and even I was like, oh man, would have been cool to have like at least top 3 and not just, you know, grand finals. But at the end of the day, the cost of esports, right? These guys were in an arena, and when it comes to arenas, unfortunately, they do overcharge you if you take too long or you go over your allotted time. You know what I mean? We talked to a lot of people that weekend after the match itself. Of course, we thought the match was great and we thought it was hype, but of course we wanted to see more as people who love this game. And that's when you kind of get to hear the different, you know, sides of the coin, right? We have a very strict schedule to meet. We have a very strict time limit that we have to be out of here by. You know, we get charged XYZ amount of dollars if we're here 5 minutes over, whatever the case is. Like, there's so many more things logistically that we can't see all the time. But, you know, that's just the unfortunate thing about it. Now, hopefully in the future, if we keep showing that we're supporting this game and that regardless of this, we're still, you know, showing us we're doing our thing, playing, competing, then, you know, maybe next year we will get more, you know, Sunday finals type of like respect. You know, it's just also new, but you know, it is what it is. I'm happy that we even got a chance to be in that arena for the game, even if it was only grand finals. It's like a lot of pressure for Chris G, right? Like, please reset this so we can keep watching it. But then you have Cloud on the other hand with 0 Dante's, not really gonna let that happen. But man, it's just a lot of different things. Like, they did have like a green room set up in the back with multiple setups and stuff for the players, but the issue was that Cloud and Chris G were really the only Marvel players, and all the other players were the Street Fighter players because it's Street Fighter top 8. So even though there were setups back there for them to get warmed up and practice, they really could have only played each other. I think Nemo sat down and played a set with Cloud right before, but that was it. So it's like, of course they're not going to play each other before the grand finals, you know? So there's just like some things logistically that could have worked out a lot better, but overall I thought the tournament was pretty cool if you look at it from start to finish. I like the concept, I like the stones, I liked seeing who actually ended up in top 8 and stuff like that, but you know, it's all
we haven't mentioned the glove yet.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about the trophy.
I'm sorry, but I thought that the trophy was
you brought it up.
Was absolutely disgusting. Like that I am totally pleased with what they did. If they did anything except for a giant Thanos gauntlet, like they messed up. So they nailed that 100%.
And it was even super cool too. I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, but Cloud was wearing it, and then he did that video asking, like, you know, the actors for Avengers and Stan Lee to sign it. He kind of pretended like it was his cast. He had broken his hand, so it was kind of cool. And I hope he gets the gauntlet signed by at least Stan Lee. But it'd be cool if he got it signed by everybody. He's definitely in the right spot to get it done.
I hope so too.
Yeah. That tweet got a lot of awareness. No, it was like it got viral real quick, and like you know, I said earlier I hate Zero as a character, but like huge shout outs to Cloud. Dude is like undefeated in tournament.
The homie
at this point. Yeah, no, and like for real, like I can't describe how much it's like, you know, people can complain and whatnot, but this dude put in so much work to set himself up for success. Like he stopped playing Marvel 3 when the PS4 port dropped, and he started playing Melee on a hitbox, which is like one of the hardest games out there. And he started learning a bunch of stuff, like new ways to play. And then he comes into this game, you know, grinds up to like top 10 consistently on online rank, you know, wins the Power Stone, beating Sonic Fox in the Hype Grand Finals. Like this dude's on fire, and he's like got such a positive attitude. Like go watch his stream, you'll see it. Like he doesn't get salty. He's just having fun being gross and just like spreading the wealth and spreading the knowledge. So like I love that dude to death. So shouts to you, Cloud05. You definitely deserve everything coming to you and so much more. Like watch out for that dude, because that dude's a problem right now.
I'd actually like to say that it's really interesting that you brought up that he was playing Melee at the end, because I came to the I was enlightened recently by realizing that Reengine before post or pre-patch was basically the equivalent of Melee Shine, because it was like all your all the area around block, it combos into itself. Like it's just leads into death. It's stupid.
Yes, and I mean, yes, congratulations, Cloud. Good stuff, man. I know he was super excited, and like even after this tournament, he was like, "Come on, Persia, you gotta admit, this was a long time coming." And I was like, "You got it, man. You got it. Congratulations." I was genuinely happy for Cloud. I know that I always troll him all the time, but no, I was genuinely happy for him at this tournament. So congrats to Cloud, taking Battle for the Stones. I know it's not going to be the last we've seen of him. I highly doubt any parts of this patch is even going to truly affect him in a way that's going to change his stature with the game right now. So good stuff. And I'm ready to move on to NEC. Are there any final words here for Battle for the Stones, you guys?
Surprisingly, it was a good tournament. It was way better than I thought it would be. You know, like despite the stone, I was like super apprehensive about the stone stuff, but like the tournament turned out way better than I thought it would be.
No, yeah.
I wanted to give a shout out to I think it was Stealth, that he was the MVP of Mindstone. He had to play Hulk, Black Panther, and almost won the match. It was either Stealth or Rhino V. My memory's a little foggy.
I think it was Rhino.
It was definitely Rhino V. No, it was definitely Rhino V. No, let me fix my face. Yeah, shouts to you, Ryan. You definitely were the best Hulk, Black Panther player of all time. So good stuff to you. And I wish you won that match.
I guess as a random one-off note, can we agree that Black Panther is officially the worst character? That's the character that people are going to try and make you play.
It hurts.
He's just the hardest to learn. Like
I agree that he's hard to learn, but I think he's bad too. It's the worst.
He has such little reward. Like, why are you doing all these like wall clink cancels and this advanced stuff for like 4,000 damage meterless? Like, stop. The characters, you got to work way too hard. He's like Iron Fist.
I thought
without damage.
I thought we were saying that Frank was the worst. Come on, let's just say Frank, guys.
No, definitely not. I definitely got bodied by a Frank player in the online quals. I would have never lost to a Black Panther. Come see me.
Ooh, the pop-ups.
If Black Panther beats you, like, we have to put that online. I want to see that now. The gauntlet has been thrown. I don't care who the best Black Panther player out there is. The challenge is in.
Come see me. Come see me.
Sifu Sif on Twitter. Make it happen.
Put this man in his place. All right, cool. So, Battle for the Stones result. Boom, closing that chapter. Moving on to the NEC 18 results that happened just this past weekend in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Biggie, thank you so much for putting on this tournament, of course. NEC, one of my favorites of the 3 that he hosts every year between NEC, Summer Jam, and Winter Brawl. So it's like if you miss one, then you know you're pretty safe in going to the next one. So that's a cool thing. I kind of feel like Biggie does kind of put a lot of like, you know, responsibility on his back by hosting all these events for us, but they're always awesome. So yeah, NEC, Marvel Infinite Action, of course. Second most entrants in the whole event was Marvel. I believe right behind Street Fighter, right? Street Fighter.
It was like 168 in total after late registration.
Yeah, so we had so many entrants, and it was awesome. I believe we had the highest viewership of the weekend. I could be wrong, but you know what? I'm going to stick with that stat for now.
You're not wrong.
Highest viewership, so let's go. Making things happen. That was streamed over at twitch.tv/bfuteki, and I do believe a portion of that was also streamed on KPB Live. So yeah, pretty awesome. Top 8 was tied for 7th, Geobron, Spider-Man player, and Mega Man Steve, OG, you know, been in the community forever, making waves all the way back in like Chinatown Fair days, so good stuff to him. Tied for 5th, we had Not Enough Damage,
ATL.
and then we had Punisher from New York. 4th place, Unknown. 3rd place, D-Kill Sage, aka Jon Snow. 2nd place, Sonic Fox. 1st place, Chris G. Woo, surprise, surprise, right? Maybe, kind of, not really, I don't know. Chris G already showing some dominating performances early on in this game when it comes to tournaments. What do you guys think about the top 8? I'm starting with our guest. Airborne, lay it on us.
Okay, so obviously there was no Dormammu again in top 8, but this is East Coast we're talking about. One thing that I thought was really interesting was there were 4 different stones in top 8, and 3 of them were only seen one time. There was not a single reality. 5 space stones, 1 soul stone, 1 mind stone, 1 power stone. There were more mind stone uses in this top 8 than there were in any Battle for the Stones tournament. Period.
And of course that was Mega Man Steve showing up with the unorthodox stuff, putting these kids in their place. They better recognize. All right, sorry, continue.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a little salty at saying a Spider-Man with Power Stone because I'm like the only Spider-Man player that doesn't run it, and I think it's one of his worst stones. Like,
why is that? Shed some light.
Okay, so the main thing with Spidey is that the web zip, well, at least the way everyone's using it, they're overcommitting and just putting themselves in a really bad position to get the surprise cross-up that's pretty transparent if you understand how web zip works in this game. And really, they're only using it to confirm off of air-to-airs, which are super easy in this game. It's like, it took me, I don't know, 5 years to get a consistent air-to-air to bring to the ground in Marvel 3. It took me a week in this game. And honestly, I feel like Power Storm is like the only use for Spidey because it like keeps him in, and he's terrifying when you can't get him out of your face. Just Soulstone is better for beating the armored when people are trying to Space Stone you into traps, or Reality Stone to set up his approach, Stone to, you know, put him in a box and then get random cross-ups when necessary to help, you know. He's just better without it, I feel like.
All right. Anything?
Well, I'll be the first to say screw Spider-Man with Power Stone.
I think the entire internet is yelling with you.
Great, but it's annoying.
I was gonna say though too, not everybody runs Spider-Man with Power Stone. Chris G at NEC definitely picked Spider-Man Hawkeye with Reality Stone against me.
That's true, but I don't count Chris G as a Spidey player. I count him as Chris G. So
yeah,
he's just a player.
Remember when he used the Iron Man, guys?
True, it was good.
Wait, did you lose to him?
At least he wasn't playing Black Panther.
Turn? Is it my turn to talk about NEC? I guess so.
You know what? Yeah, it's your turn. Take over.
All right, hi guys. So this is my first Marvel Infinite Major. It was really fun. Shouts to everybody I played. You know, I'm rocking Nova Dante with Soulstone, and it's been like a month now since I've been playing this team. I got 13th.
Woo.
Considering it was like a lot of people playing, and I lost to the dude in winners that won the tournament, but it was 3-2 against his Spider-Man Hawkeye reality, and I definitely made him nervous. Chris, if you're in this chat, you can back me up on that. I know you were nervous. You were scared. I know you were. But yeah, then he picked Monster Hunter Morgan and wrecked my shit. It was hard. I only had one game to figure it out, and I definitely did not figure it out. And then I got bopped by Scamby. I'm suck against armor with my team.
I saw that in the bracket, but I didn't see the match itself. I was like, yo.
Yeah, it was off stream. Like a lot of losers, top 32 was off stream. Like we had to kill Sage versus Ray, like elimination match for top 8. Yeah, that like a lot of juicy stuff that was off stream during the top 32. But man, there were so many crazy matches, and like I gotta talk about Unknown for a second, because this dude was 2-2, had Pixel Dante against a full team, 3 different matches throughout his bracket, and won. And yeah, dude, like Unknown like broke the stage 3 times. Like his pop-offs were just like shook the ground. Like we knew when Jahi won. Like everybody knew.
Of course, everyone knows when Jahi wins.
Yeah, and especially like the one he did in top 8 against Geobron that almost made the boy cry. Poor dude. That was rough. But it was hype regardless. Like I love seeing that type of stuff. So like I want to also give a big shout out to my homie who got 5th place, not enough damage.
Yes.
Because not only did he do phenomenally well, and he proved that he was the Sorcerer Supreme by beating Idom, the other Doctor Strange player in top 32, but he actually was the first one to kind of talk to Big E on Twitter, contacted him, and been like, hey, can we please make this 3 out of 5 the entire way? And he got enough support and enough traction that Big E was stepped in and was like, hey, we will make this 3 out of 5. Every match was 3 out of 5, and we had so many sick 3-2s. We had so many sick 3-2 matches like throughout the tournament, and everything ran pretty smoothly. So like, I mean, we can get into a whole nother discussion about whether or not Marvel needs to be 3 out of 5. But regardless of your opinion, like NEC definitely had its moments because of some crazy clutch moments where it was like 2-2. So yeah, I mean, NEC was just nuts. Top 8 was ridiculous. Had a crazy character variety. I know everybody like Marcus and Merkel are definitely going to be talking about that too, because post patch, I guess I'll just quote Coach Steve to kind of end my piece, but he said once the patch dropped that I think the best way to look at it is that, now that the patch has dropped, there are a lot of good characters to play right now.
Yeah.
A lot of good characters to play right now. And nothing's really like super standout busted like Dante was pre-patch, to where it's like you have to play him, like he got nerfed considerably to where he doesn't offer like standalone utility and, point pressure and whatnot. So yeah, dude, like, we had a really diverse top 8, and there's going to be a lot of characters that are going to be creeping up slowly but surely. Like, I believe in Winter Soldier. That character's going to be a problem.
He really is.
No, he's a problem, and I'm seeing some people out there, like, shouts to Quackbot or PC Marvel God, or, the guy that knows the Shadow Bushin no Jutsu, who can just, like, duplicate himself in bracket. But he's picking up Winter Soldier, and I saw some matches of him recently, and he's putting in a lot of work with that character, and I'm afraid of him. And I expect him to pop up more and more as more people figure it out. Yeah. But yeah, there are a lot of good characters right now, and I like this point in the patch or post patch where a lot of characters are viable, and we're going to see a lot of diversity coming, in the future.
Yeah. Kyle, you want to touch base on NEC? Talk about it.
Well, I have a question. So Unknown's in the chat, and he's mad that we're not going to talk about the Sorcerer Supreme pop. What did Ned do?
Oh, okay. Picking him up because it was Idom versus the Kill Sage, right? And then and not for those of you that don't know, not enough damage has been talking a lot of smack because he feels like he's the best Strange, but he needed to prove it. And Idom started coming to NLBC playing Doctor Strange, and of course this guy, this nerd, he's like, oh my god, he's trying to pick my character. I have to call him out. So he calls him out on Twitter. He gets no response. Calls him out again on Twitter. Gets no response. Idom's a pretty quiet guy. Yeah, Idom's a pretty quiet guy, and then he starts posting like pictures of him talking to a brick wall, and Eddie, amount of damage, feels like very kind of ignored. And then I pieced it together. I look at it, it's like, oh my god, you might have to play Idom to get into top 8 winners. And I'm just like giddy with excitement. I'm like popping off before the match even happens. I'm like, you get to prove it right here. You get to finally talk to the wall and play him. And then he actually beat him. And then after he beat him 3-1, he jumped up out of No, he didn't cuss. He kept it pretty PG. He's like, I am the Sorcerer Supreme. In his little high-pitched voice.
It was corny crap like that.
it was a good pop off. It was a good pop off. It was a good pop off. It was good. I'm downplaying it. No, shout out. So yeah, he did that, and you know, but I'm gonna say this now. He did prove, I guess, that he is the Sorcerer Supreme. He was the highest placing Doctor Strange, right? And he beat the other Doctor Strange player that made it really far. But he lost to Sonic Fox and to Kill Sage. You know who did not lose to Kill Sage? I don't.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
Eddie's got, yeah, the plot thickens. It's not over yet. It's not. So I told that to Eddie, and he had like a big like face like, oh my god, over. I still have more to prove. Kind of crushed his spirit a little bit.
There's always more to prove.
Yeah, like I want to hit y'all with this question though. Like, how good do y'all think Doctor Strange is? I'm gonna say
Man, Eddie is stupid. Because I saw Eddie. I saw Eddie's like, I'm thinking about dropping this character, and like, I think Doctor Strange is awesome. He's like the best type of support you could ask for in this game.
Kyle, you also picked him up too, right?
Yeah. So right now my squad is Black Widow, Strange, and I'm messing around with stones. I don't have a set stone yet, but I started with Gamora Strange, and I strong teleport back. Like, he is so hard to like lock down. And I think the only thing that like isn't great is he doesn't really have good buttons, and he's not really a pressure mode. Where like most of this game, somebody wants to get in on someone and then tag and let your second character do their wacky stuff. With Strange, you do like 3 hits and then you're like, well, I guess I'm gonna just, or I don't even know, because it just none of his options are very great at that point. But I think that he's like way slept on. I think he's a lot higher up on the tier list than people think. It's just that he's not readily apparent as an easy character, and his combos aren't as straightforward, and his options don't make a lot of sense right away. But I think we're going to see more Strange doing more in this game, especially with the patch. Now that like he beats Gamora, I think, because Impact Palm or Impact, I can't even talk. Ivagamado now is incredibly good with how piercing works. So I'm all about Strange. I think Eddie's Strange is pretty fantastic, and I'm doing my best to make my Strange. And I think we'll see more of them.
Cool. Who hasn't talked about NEC yet? I know I was passing it around. Okay, go, Potatoes.
The thing I want to say is I was looking at the brackets, and I want to shout out these 2 players because we haven't really talked about them enough. Is Mega Man Steve?
Yes.
I think Airborne kind of alluded earlier, said he was the first Mind Stone user. Really, like, there hasn't been another Mind Stone user get top 8 at a Battle for the Stones event. I think there was 1 or 2 at the Northwest Majors, but that wasn't a Stone event. So shout outs to him, and also just showing off like people kind of feel, I don't know, like X. I know a lot of people for his inclusion in the game, and then once they found out like he had all these, you had to work with him, like a lot of them dropped him. So I'm super glad that not only Steve showed up and like, but I'm glad that he stuck with his gun, you know, so to speak, and still rocking the X. And then I want to shout out because I checked the bracket. That dude lost round 1
to you,
and he made it. Yeah, and he made it all the way to. He got 5th place.
Yeah, 5th.
And his matches that he was playing in top 8 were ridiculous. Like his match against Unknown, had to play out of his mind in order to beat him.
Yep.
Like I really, really, really like Punishers. Like I've always been a fan of his playstyle, and he seems to be putting it all together in this game. Like his playstyle with the trap slash keep away playstyle, and Rocket Raccoon Hawkeye looks ridiculous, and I'm looking forward to watching him learn more and progress as this game goes on.
Totally. All right. Any final comments on NEC before we move on? I know we have a few more things to talk about before we kick over the stream to Merkel's Open Lobby, and I know a few of us have to leave soon, so I want to make sure we get everyone's opinions in on the recent news and updates in FTC in regards to Marvel. So any final words on NEC, you guys?
Monster Hunter real quick. If Jonas was here, he'd be talking about
I know. Monster
Hunter. Perfect she is, and she's really, really strong, and I think she is kind of showing up. And I think she's obnoxiously strong, and her armor is a pain in the neck to deal with for a lot of people. And not throwing to the ground, hold it. And Chris isn't like, you just do that and tag, and then just go ham with Morgan. I don't know why you decided not to do that sometimes, but other times you did. But I think Monster Hunter's pretty strong, and I think we're going to see her a lot more as people start to feel out other characters after the patch.
Yo, and also shout outs to Chris G defending our honor. Like, you know, because that was a super quick 3-0 by Sonic Fox. Like Chris
4-0.
Well,
he was
yeah,
4 games in a row. Yeah, he
was,
got mopped real quick. It felt like he was falling asleep.
And it honestly didn't even. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from Sonic Fox, but it just looked like, yeah, like you said, it was on Chris G, like falling asleep or something. Because like Sonic Fox looked like he was playing the same game that he did in Winners, but it was just working this time. But I really, really, really like Chris G's team. I like the Morgan DP tag into
the arrows,
arrows. That's so sick. It's so sick, and it's like, man, like I can tell that Chris G has some other things. Like he tried to do Missile Super off the Happy Birthday into the Arrow Super, and it like missed, so he didn't get the pickup afterwards. But I'm like, yo, I want to see more things with this team, because I know a lot of people are. Yes, Monster Hunter is obnoxious, like Kyle was saying, but I feel like a lot of people are kind of thinking like she's kind of like a one-trick pony, and I'm looking forward to see, assuming Chris G sticks with the team, some of the nuances and things that he can bring out the character. Because like even his match against Unknown was super sick too. Like it was cool to see Unknown adapt as the set went on. So like he was kind of being a little bit more runaway and forcing Chris to rush him down. But then there was times where he met him head on, tagged, and immediately threw with zero to beat out the armor. And I was like, yo, that was a sick adaptation. And he actually looked like for a second he had a shot at beating him, because I think he tied it up 2-2. So every game with Chris G, every game with Unknown, every game with Punisher, those games were all sick. Those games were all sick.
Go watch those.
Yeah, I gotta like give a huge shout out to Chris, because he was probably the only person that made Sonic Fox's offense look like human. Like, if there's one thing for sure, there were a lot of people who got exposed by how ridiculous Jetta's mix-ups were, but this man Chris G blocked like a god, and everybody that was in the front row at that event, we were just kind of doing one of these, just like, oh my god, we are not worthy. And Chris G's just kind of like cracking up, was like, dang, I had to block a lot. That was crazy. So it's like, deal.
So one of the things, the latest patch was that they added the super push block if you're in block string or block stun for more than X amount of seconds. I thought it was weird that it felt like some of those times with rocket pressure from Sonic Fox was long enough that maybe that should have come into play. I don't know if Chris was just willing to just block it out and he wasn't even trying to push block, but I'm curious it's going to matter more, or if right now that block stun timing to get the super push block is like way too long at the moment for it to actually come up in real matches. But I'm curious to see if that actually meant.
I'm curious to see if Sonic Fox's little fly to the corner thing would beat out the push block thing, because you saw how he would lock down with Rocket, then he would fly with Jetta, and then just go into the corner, and then he would be he would basically side switch.
That setup is so gross.
And I wonder if like that beats out that push block, where if like you're supposed to push him full screen and you just push him back to that corner, so he stays in there. I wonder if that was like some tech that he developed to beat that out, because he did whip it out a couple times. Yeah. But he got the hit typically instead of keeping the block string going.
Like, Chris G was definitely like the best player at the tournament. Like, he won, right? But I have to say Sonic Fox is by far the grossest player in Marvel right now. Like, there was the one match against him and Too Much Damage where, like, I've never seen Eddie get owned so hard. That was hard to watch. But like he had the first game kind of like on point, and we were like screaming nonstop. And then out of nowhere, Sonic Fox gets this stray hit off of something in neutral and does the most ridiculous Jetta combo anybody ever saw. And it was just like, you know, down to like the last digit of damage that gave him the kill. And everybody just like had their hands in their heads being like, that was OD. And Chris G was even in the crowd being like, he used 2 flies in that combo to get the kill. Like, and then after that, it was a complete molly-whopping. Like, I've never seen a faster 2-0. So like, no, like Sonic Fox is so scary. It'll only be a matter of time till he gets a major.
Yeah, and I talked to him at NEC. He does have a Black Widow that he's working on.
That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
His Black Widow is super gross. Like, he's got one of the best Black Widows right now, and I am
he
so
even said
ready.
his Black Widow wasn't good enough to enter with yet. So for you to say his
She's
Black
hard.
Widow is ridiculous, he was saying, nah, she's not ready yet. She's not ready yet. And
I
I know
agree with
you've
that.
been using Black Widow a little bit. Like, what exactly about her is making her so like technical yet so broken at the same time?
So I guess the main thing is that she doesn't really have very many streamlined conversions. You have to, all of her command grabs, or 2 of her command grabs have different conversions. Being able to start combos off your hop kicks, convert off of gas traps, standard hits into like baton, and sticky bomb conversions. There's like all these things that you have to keep in mind. And that's on top of the fact that like her movement path is so really, really intense. Like, you can actually use her command grabs to stall in the air, so like make things whiff under you and then grab them. So she just has like 8 million things you have to juggle in your head constantly. But I think Sonic Fox is definitely on the way to.
But are all those options practical?
I think so. I think
because that's what makes it really hard, right? That she has so many options, but they're all practical, and then you can't remember everything. Is that what you're alluding to?
I don't think she's so like Dante has tons of options, and almost all of them will work. Mm-hmm. And she's definitely not that. She has some options that if you do them in the wrong place, then you're just awful.
Rip.
But I think that what she does have, if you know how to use them in the right places, I think that she's going to be super gross. I think she's kind of like maybe like a Marvel 3 Dante, or like shades of Viper from 3. Like, she's really technical, but I think that she has, I think she has a lot of interesting movement options and a lot of traps and set play, potentially going to give people trouble later on. But her neutral is definitely the hard play, because it's so hard to keep people on the ground, but she's great at there. And so you have to know how to use in space the command grabs properly to keep them grounded. And it's just, there's so many things that you have to be good at to use her as a full character. So once we get there, though, I mean, she's got like half screen mix-ups into high-low throw, command grab, like gross meaty stuff, or really gappy frame trap stuff. So I think that she's going to be gross. But I'm definitely, I am not going to tournaments trying to play Black Widow yet either, and I've been grinding her out pretty hard too. So.
Man, you just gotta hold those L's and learn, man.
I know.
That's what I'm doing. Like, I'm definitely grinding online right now, and I'll be playing my Black Widow in the lobby later for anyone that wants to mess with that. And Zebu and I, for anyone that knows Zebu down in Texas, we streamed a long set a couple days ago, and we'll probably do another set soon. So just keep an eye out on my Twitter, and I'll blast out if I'm ever streaming there. And if you're trying to learn that character, I mean, just come hang out and talk shop. And if I'm doing bad stuff or I can do something better, let me know, and I'll share what I know. Same as always.
Cool. All right, so I'm moving on to the next topic. We were talking a lot about NEC and BFTS and all this good stuff, but I'm going to keep it moving. Moving on to, I kind of lumped this topic all into one, recent updates and FGC news, because I felt like we had a lot to talk about. There are some upcoming tournaments that I want you guys to check out. Here's the first splash here. That's this Geico Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Invitational is actually happening this Thursday. For anybody who didn't know about it, which I'm sure was a lot of people, but this is going to be an 8-man invitational with some pretty interesting players, to say the least. They're like FGC favorites, but also people who have been putting in work in this game, so it's going to be very interesting. As you see on your screen, Punk, J1, K-Brad, F-Champ, and more. I think and more also includes Cloud 805 and some other people. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember them all right now. I think Flash is going to be in there also, so at least we'll see, you know, some variety.
Chris?
So, yeah.
Chris G?
I'm trying to remember. I should have had this on
Is
there,
that
but
in
I
Cali?
don't. But yes,
in Cali?
it's actually online, but it will be broadcasted from San Francisco. That's just about all the information I have right now, aside from the fact that it's going to be on twitch.tv/Geico Gaming. That's happening this Thursday, 12 p.m. West Coast time, PST, I think that is. So if you guys want to check that out, you definitely can. That's coming up very, very soon. 2 days. You know, I leave tomorrow to go handle this. So I will be on the mics alongside IFC Hypes, and we're going to be holding it down, and it's going to be some pretty interesting content. And of course, shout outs to Geico and Geico Gaming for making this invitational happen. Also, what else do we got? We have other tournaments coming up is KIT, right? KIT's coming up. Frosty's coming up. Go for Broke Winter Championship is coming up. Versus coming up a little bit later on, beginning of February. But a lot of tournaments are up and coming, which is super exciting for Marvel Infinite that we're not even done with this year yet, and still so many events hosting this game. So many people hyped for this game, which leads us to this next topic, which is, I know everyone's seen Mr. Wiz's tweet, right? Everyone saw it. And you know what? Even though you all saw it, I'm going to read it back to you anyways. All right, ready? Quote, "Blow Up Tuesday. Is Marvel dead? There was no reveal at Capcom Cup. Only 5K viewers on Twitch. Poor sales. Only 350 people online max. Chime in now." And the poll was, is Marvel dead, yes or no? So, yeah.
Fake news! Fake news! Fake!
All the way down.
All of it fake.
All of it fake. And the poll received over 14,000 votes, with 59% saying yes and 41% saying no. Well, now's the time for us to chime in and let all of you know why not only is Mr. Wiz and 59% of these 14,000 voters wrong, but let's just look at recent events. NEC, Marvel Infinite, second highest entrance, highest viewership, right after Battle for the Stones. Don't blame us for, oops, wait, breaking my setup right now at Assault. Don't blame the Marvel community for the choices that are out of our hands. We can't control which stream our game is going to be played on during Capcom Cup, which people would assume would be Capcom Fighters, but no, Battle for the Stones had its own Twitch channel. That's not our fault. You know, that was not our choice. It is what it is, right? And we know things like that do affect numbers, so that's not really something to even put into play. That's one thing. Number two, this community will ride or die for this game no matter what. Like, we're always going to be supporting this game. We're always going to be playing this game. And as long as Marvel Live is around, we're always going to be talking about this game. And it's just mind-boggling to me that within, like, not even the first full year of the game. This is a full year from Marvel Infinite's announcement, and we're already having this discussion. Like, let's relax. All right, I'm going to kick it around to the table before I get too in my bag of feelings. You know, I'm gonna start with our guest. We haven't heard from you in a while. Oh my god, my salt, I can't talk. Airborne, what do you think about this tomfoolery happening?
Blasphemy.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say I've been trying to find the holes in the I guess the layered talking right now. It's kind of like a Marvel mix-up right now. But anyways, the first thing that I'd like to say is shout outs to whoever's running the Not John D account on Twitter for starting the poll. Only half the viewer or half the entrants for Street Fighter V as opposed to the year before, and all these other supporting arguments.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I felt that essentially basically said it for us was where Mr. Wizard was definitely out of place. You know, it was a forced blow up Tuesday. Like, you don't do those. And the stats he was using to back up his argument, most of them were actually, I think it only said peak 5K viewers or something on Friday. And someone tweeted out a screenshot showing that there was at least 10,000 viewers, and there were 16,000 viewers for finals day.
Boom.
So
can I even? I'm sorry to cut you off, but even want to say too, on top of that, that tournament was like during the work hours.
Yeah.
You know? Like that Friday event, like it started like I think it started like 2 Central Time.
It was early, yeah.
So it was like, what do you expect? And then it was on the Battle for the Stones channel, and like a side channel. So not only did it just start abruptly, but you had to know when to tune in. So go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like exactly. I had or my phone on Twitch is in conference calls and everything. So like I was while I was at work looking over my shoulder, make sure like no one was gonna like walk over that like my director or something that would upon that. But it's just we're 3 months in. That's like I can't reiterate that enough. Like the people are freaking the Wesker syndrome, I guess you could say, where it's just everyone's freaking out over like what happens to be the most, and it's I mean the guy's a troll, and I could say a lot of things, but it'd be very unprofessional. So refrain from it.
I'm gonna try to catch Steve before he leaves us. What do you think about this? Chime in. Final words, because Steve has to leave soon, you guys. So chime in, Steve. What's up?
Yeah. Man, I don't want to stir the pot, but okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. So before top 8 of NEC, I decided to hit F Champ up for advice for Eddie because he was going up against Jetta. He plays Ultron. Eddie plays Ultron. I figured, you know what? Eddie asked me to ask him for advice, right? So I messaged him on Facebook, and he gives me some advice, and then let me go ahead and pull up the exact quote because I do not want to be misspoken here because this kind of like made me like all wide-eyed and everything as soon as I saw it. He said he gave some advice, and then the last thing he said was like, sadly, Marvel is done. And I'm like, whoa, what? Hold on. And then he said, Dormammu told me just know it's accurate. I'm like, what kind of troll shit is this? But anyway, like, this is something, we're in a weird spot because, like, the game is in a healthy spot. Like, this patch did a number of awesome changes that kind of created a lot of diversity, a lot of different ways to play that are really viable. I really love the changes that they made to it. You know, we got new DLC characters. NEC was ridiculously hyped. We have so much momentum, right? And then everybody, like, but still on, like, deep down on the surface level, you're hearing all sorts of, like, nonsense. But I don't even know if it is nonsense. It's like, I'm just keeping it real based on what I've been seeing. Like, I know it's easy for us to kind of get caught up and be, like, on the hype train and whatnot, but who knows if there are actual, like, relationship issues between Marvel and Capcom that are kind of driving things, and that's what makes us have to like really stay strong with this all. Like,
there's too many
regardless
factors out of our hand.
That's the point. That's the point. See, like all this shit, it's not in your control. You know what's in your control? Whether or not you want to play this game you like or not. You want to play it? Go ahead and fucking play it. I'm gonna fucking play it. This game is fun. I started finally having fun with this game, like at least this week. Like I stopped opening myself up for like missing push blocks and trying to play like Marvel 3, and I'm finally starting to play this game, and it's fun. Like the changes that the patch made have been solid in general. That's just my opinion. You can don't at me and call me out or all that other stuff. So don't do that. But like as far as like Marvel being done, this game has so much more to go into it, man. Like I don't know. Like I feel like I just started having fun with this game, and now everybody's trying to rain on my parade. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Shit. Like, I don't know. Like, so as far as all that's concerned, I don't expect this game to let up anytime soon momentum-wise because it's a lot of fun. A lot of different people are playing. We haven't seen a lot of – we still have yet to see, like, a lot of old-school Marvel 3 players, like, really show their stuff. Like, I know KIT is going to bring out some crazy, like, matches. Yeah, and it's only been 4 months. Chill. All y'all, chill.
Relax.
Like – so I don't know. Like I get why people are up in arms. Like there is substantial amount of talk, you know, rumbling on, you know, on the bottom level, like, and it just kind of like makes everybody kind of cranky and whatnot. But regardless, it's not really your. At the end of the day, what you can care about is whether or not you want to play the game. And right now, a lot of other people are playing the game. It's not just us. There's 168 people in Philly this weekend, you know, trying to bust each other's asses in this game. And man, was it fun. I played so much Marvel this weekend. It was awesome. Everybody was having a good time. I promise you. So I don't know. Like, I'm gonna just leave with that. Like, there are a lot of people that may shed on the game, may not think it's solid, or they have their reasons to think that Capcom has abandoned us. But you know, if that is true or not, that's not stopping you from like enjoying the game and going out and playing with your friends, which is the whole spirit of FGC in the first place.
And
so,
if it does, then you're not a true Marvel player. Just saying. Because
hey man,
we spent so
you,
many years under those same circumstances. So come on.
Yeah, like this struggle's nothing new, yo. Like, I feel like this is nothing compared to where we were like months ago.
Whoa, months ago. Isn't
like,
that sad? Months ago, right?
Yeah, we're seeing the same swan song once again. Like, okay, and let me put this into perspective. Like, this had second highest entrance, right? And then you put into perspective of DOA 5, what ended up happening to them. They had
God, that was heartbreaking.
That's heartbreaking. You want to talk about a game dying? Like, not to say that it is dead, because you know, prior to NEC,
lets it die.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. Facts. But you know, there was they were saying that there's going to be a big announcement at NEC, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, DOA 6, the new sequel! I can't wait!" Oh, and you know, everybody's super hyped. And then, you know, they finally get through the tournament, and then they have the announcement, and then the company's like, "We're shutting it down, all of it. Thank you for the memories." Like, we didn't, like, at least Capcom has the decency to leave us in obscurity, you know what I mean? And, like, not do that to us, you know? So, we happening anytime soon. So, like, do you, like, as long as the fat lady doesn't sing in that case, then I think we're totally fine to play our game, have fun, and go to tournaments and do our shit. That's it.
Word. And I know you're heading out soon, so any final words for the stream?
Eddie, I love you. Good shit on getting fifth. Shouts to everybody I played. Youth, you're the homie. I played you the most. Shouts to also Eddie winning the epic first to one. I'm not telling you in what, but yeah, he beat Max. And shouts to the last session that we had before everybody left outside. That was crazy. And that's about it. NEC was really awesome, and I can't wait to go to my next Marvel major. I don't know about y'all, but we should
see you there, buddy.
KIT, yeah,
KIT
let's
boy.
do it. Go to KIT,
Kevin won't
everybody.
be there.
Yeah, unfortunately, but
right,
yeah,
cool.
like that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and head off. I got like
All
a
right.
music rehearsal I gotta go to.
Later,
Well,
homie.
thank you for tuning in, Steve.
Later, Steve.
And we lose one crew member, but we
Nice.
gain another. Jonas.
Top 10
has
on
showed
PlayStation
up.
Network.
Top
The
10
All
on
Warrior
PSN.
himself.
Let's go. Jonas, what's up?
Everybody bow.
I'm gonna give you your welcome intro on top of what do you think about quote unquote Marvel being dead ? According to Mr. Wiz. All right, so you know a lot of stuff to pull from you right out the gate, but you know this is Marvel Live. What else is new?
Damn, yeah.
But
So
we also there's a lot of people in the chat that are curious to hear about Winter Soldier, and I think that you're probably the best person to talk about Winter Soldier. So touch on that too.
it's dead.
No,
I can't. My hands can't handle it. Like I don't have a hitbox, and my hands are. I have two left hands, so I can. I've been using him casually, but I don't know if I'll stick with him. He's really good, but Monster Hunter is life, you know. So I can talk about that on the lobby if you guys want. But in terms of Mr. Wizard's tweet, like Kyle said, like Steve said, it was kind of like a bitch move, you know. Because I'm pretty sure if Marvel had actual backing from Capcom, they would not be complaining. This seems to be more like a politics move, and they're putting the community in the middle of the dispute between Evo and Capcom, which is super unfair. It's not our fault that our game does not have an esports circuit, but you should not throw us under the bus like that, you know? It's like sort of like a desperate cry for attention. I feel like we're obviously, by the looks of it and the rumors, we may not get a Marvel Pro Tour. So maybe those sponsored players like Jay Wong, F Champ, to some extent Chris G, they may not give it as much attention as Street Fighter that has the actual money. But the Marvel community has never been about idolizing those type of players. We just want to play. You know, it's about 3 a.m. Marvel sessions against Remy Martin or something. You know, it's not about the money or the pop bonus. It's never been about the money or the pop bonus. We've never had money. So we're just in the same situation. We expected something amazing. We may not get that amazing esports live, but it's still the same. We got a new game, you know? I went kind of aggro on Mr. Wizard about this, which is whatever. Yeah.
You got blocked.
I just feel I got blocked, but that's fine. That's Twitter.
That's Twitter life.
You know what? Like, things are gonna be pretty much. We're still gonna see the same people. We have an amazing group of content creators working hard on this game because if Capcom and Evo don't want to support us, we can support ourselves. We've done this for 3 or 4 years now. We can keep doing this all day, you know. And on top of that, like, I feel like this is even more opportunity. Maybe do more circuits like that and sponsor more players because the interest is definitely there, and we're still getting more numbers than like other games. I don't want to like compare anything, but for a game that's dead, we are pretty good, you know. Like if Marvel's dead, like is everything except Street Fighter dead? I don't know.
Like I want to like say too, it's super frustrating to hear people say Marvel is dead because it's like, you know, comparing us against, because it's like obviously I think with the FGC the way it is now, there's just going to be one game that's bigger than all the other games, and
course, yeah.
Relatively speaking, like we're in healthy shape compared to a lot of other games. You know, like we just had a patch come out. We just finished the first season, quote unquote, of our game with the release of these 3 new characters. So it was super frustrating because I think a lot of this stemmed from there not being an announcement for Marvel, like there was an announcement for Street Fighter at the Battle for the Stones tournament, and like it's kind of like super unrealistic to expect like your game, you know, we just got a patch the week before and you're already expecting some type of announcement for like it was just super weird to see that. And like, and on top of that too, if you think about it, like, I mean, imagine they announced the season 2 characters, then the very next week Disney buys Fox. And so they already locked into these 6 characters or how many ever characters they release. And then everybody is still memeing and complaining about no X-Men and like all these other characters that they want in the game. But it's like, so did you want an announcement just to have an announcement and it didn't matter who was announced? Or like give them a break, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
I think we still have some DLC on the way. We're probably going to get... Yeah, like the way these companies work, they just... The way I was talking about this was like, I don't remember who, I think it was Keats or something. Like the video game industry nowadays, it's really hard to actually make a noticeable, really good profit. So that's why there's so many DLCs nowadays. And as more time progresses, more DLC is going to arrive for the video game industry and like for all these video games, because that's just what you need. Because the economy gets harder and you need more money. So I think Capcom is definitely going to try to milk the cow as much as possible. They may not throw money back at us, but they're going to want money and they're going to send DLC. You know, that is just how it works. So I think we're going to get maybe like another season, maybe 2 seasons more if we're listening to the leaks that we got the other day from Reddit. I don't know. I don't really care about, like, I just want to play the game, you know? Yeah. And as long as more people play, I'll keep playing. Like, this game is immensely fun. Anybody that, like, if you really wrap your head around it, it's a really good fighting game. Like, gameplay-wise, we've been saying this for months, but it's true. Like, this is a really fucking good game. It looks ugly, but who cares? You know, I'm going to play it.
And when they add that 2v2 mode, we can go Civil War and everybody.
Right.
Oh. That's a good 2v2 mode. What's good? I mean, personally, I feel like the only time this game is really going to die is when we stop supporting it. And that doesn't really seem like something that's ever going to stop, right? I don't know. We've been doing this for a long time. But I did get asked something recently at NEC that I thought was pretty interesting, was that if, the big if, Marvel Infinite is going the same route as Marvel 3, where there is no support or whatever, what's stopping us from supporting Marvel Infinite over supporting Marvel 3? Which was kind of a heavy question, you know, because I still feel like people have not let go of Marvel 3 yet. Even at NEC, there was a Marvel 3 tournament that had a lot of solid entrants. It was actually a great tournament. But then, you know, you sit and you think, you're like, oh, but it was Marvel 3. But why is that such a big deal? So I kind of want to kick that question around to you guys, you know, besides the obvious, because my obvious answer was, this is the current game. This is the game that we have the most potential to grow with compared to Marvel 3 at the time. And because of those reasons, and because of the fact that people are growing the meta of the game past what we thought in the first, I don't know, 2 weeks, even maybe negative 1 week because people had it so early. But, you know, a lot of people have their impressions and their reservations about the game up until, you know, the game starts evolving. So that was my take on it. You know, the game's evolving. The game is becoming better because it's in our hands now. And we do have an extent of support that we didn't have before. You know, opportunities that we didn't have before. And that's why I feel like we should support this game over going back to the past and supporting Marvel 3. So, I'm going to kick it around the table. I'm going to start with our guest, Airborne. What do you think?
Okay, so I had this talk with Static over the weekend, actually. And so we actually played a quick first to 3 before we went to Godlike Saturday. Shoutouts
in
to...
3 or Infinite?
3.
Okay.
So... literally, the only thing that I could still do was finish my combos with Shuma. Out of all the things that I was capable of with, like, the characters I had under my belt, I could only play Shuma. And so the amount of effort that I had to put in that game just to play neutral with all 3 of my characters was frustrating enough. So I don't know if I have the ability to compete in it, like, if we ever went back to Marvel 3, personally. But I also just don't miss Virgil at all. But
at all, I don't at all
right.
either. He can
and that's why I hope the leaks for MVCI are not true.
I
know. But like I feel like Marvel Infinite just has a lot of depth that's unexplored. It's I think someone a long time ago always made the CVS 2 versus Third Strike argument, where it's like CVS 2. I think it was CVS 2 was very unexplored still with the potential it had, even though the tournaments lasted forever because everyone was doing 4 out of 7 grand finals, and it was the longest sets imaginable. But Third Strike had explored almost all the depth, but it was still like the #1 played game during the Dark Ages. Just Marvel 3, I felt like it definitely had its run, and I mean, it probably could still see life like Marvel 2, and I honestly would support all of them. I just don't think I could ever compete in Marvel 3 again on as a main game. It took too much out of me.
all right. Jonas, what do you think about the 2 games, where we should rest our support, so on and so forth?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. We're not gonna go back to Marvel 3. I'm sorry. It's done. It had its time. I love that. I love that game. I wrote a book. Not a book, a guide. Like I love that game, but it's time to move on. Like, why are we? If Marvel 3 was that much better, why didn't you guys play it during its last 3 years? You know, we had to struggle for the last 3 years to find people to play. We're sticking with Marvel Infinite. Like, this game is the new Marvel game. It is essentially Marvel 4. If you play it, it feels like a Marvel game. It is as crack as a Marvel game. We don't need to go back to 3. I feel like it had its time. Let's give Marvel Infinite like a year or 2 or 3 or something. Then we can talk about it. You know, this is not like we can have side tournaments, but we can support the game if there's tournaments. You know, I'm for all Marvel versus Capcom games, but as Airborne said, I'm not gonna compete in Marvel 3 because it's just simply. I think it had its run. I think it's figured out. It's done. You know, we got our champions. We got everything we needed. We got our circuit. let's give it a rest. It's been enough. We have this new game now. Let's talk about that one. You know, let's just we have it. It's good. There's no reason to think about Marvel 3 when Marvel 3 was getting super low numbers during its last years. You know, like I think it's just a little bit of hypocrisy there. You know, like people want to play Marvel 3 just to shit on Infinite when it's like, yeah.
All right, potato salad. What's your 2 cents on this?
I have been like just going through this in my head, like literally for the past week, and I'm gonna have to disagree with Airborne and Raid, just off the fact that he kind of said that where was everybody with Marvel 3? The one thing I will say, as somebody that lives in a small scene, the online for that game was so garbage in comparison to Infinite. So I do think that if there was like, say, tomorrow they announced that Infinite is not going to get any support or anything like that, I feel like the only scenes that could sustain going back to Marvel 3 are the big scenes. So like the Georgias, the Calis, and the New Yorks, like scenes where I lived at, we have to play whatever has the best internet. Like, I'm too far from other scenes in order to expect to get a session bigger than like 6 people, you know? So if I had the choice, I like Infinite. I like Marvel 3. Marvel 3 is my favorite fighting game that of all time. It has all 3 of my characters. Like, I would go back to that game, and I agree. Like, I've played Marvel 3 recently, like in the past month or so, and I can't do any Spencer combos. He changed so much in Infinite compared to so like his inputs are completely different, and I can't do anything with them. But if there was a big push for people to go back to Marvel 3, I would still support the tournaments. I'm not a Marvel 2 player, but I would still support Marvel 2 stuff. So I don't see why these guys, they're tournament players, and it probably pains. I know it pains them to say that, like, I don't want to enter a tournament that I'm going to be trash at, but like I did that for the past 2 years in Marvel 3. Like, I didn't have near the competition I needed in order to do well in tournaments, but I still like came out and I supported. So I think both of those 2 guys are saying they wouldn't, like to do. They would play. You guys would enter tournaments. Don't sit here and lie. You guys would enter tournaments.
I'm signed up for KIT. So.
That's what I'm saying. Like, exactly. and like you don't have Shuma in this game. Kyle doesn't have X-23 or Magneto. Jonas doesn't have Akuma or Akuma or Phoenix Wright. I don't have Skrull or Taskmaster. And like, we would all enter because that's the only chance we get to play those characters that we love. So like, don't try to sit here and tell me that you guys wouldn't play Marvel 3.
I will say I did not like playing Shuma. It was torture for the past 3 years. Like if he was an Infinite, I would not play him.
What about when you played Akuma though?
Oh, Akuma has a special place in my heart.
Akuma's big.
Bro, you want me to play Phoenix Wright again? You want me to play Phoenix Wright again?
Yes, I want you to take people to court.
Are you for real? No, I would play Marvel 3.
I know. So you guys sit here lying and saying that you would.
I would really.
What I would say is
that I would not like practice hardcore for it. If there's a side tournament, I will play it.
That's what I'm saying. It's not about going to the tournament. Like at a certain point, you get to a certain age. Like, it's like you're not going to the tournament in order to like win. Like your reasoning for going is different. You're going to hang out with friends. You're going out to support a game that you love. Some of us aren't ready to go into that mindset yet. I feel like you two aren't there, but I've been there for the past like 2 years. Like I was no longer the player I was in Marvel 3 at a certain point. Like my team, I didn't put enough time in the game to stay current with the meta, and I accepted that, and I'm even kind of doing that in Marvel Infinite, being hard-headed, and I'm going to stick with Spencer and Iron Man. But, like, I'm playing what I like, I'm supporting the scene, and I'm showing up, hanging out with homies. And, like I'm not going to be, like, the sickest, tournament player expecting me to get, top 8 every tournament. But I'm going to hang out with people, and I'm supporting this game that I like. And I feel like we would do that no matter which version of Marvel we had. So
I just feel like for most of Marvel 3, I just got bullied so hard that thinking about playing a Marvel 3 tournament, I just get Vietnam flashbacks of Zero.
But you're thinking of like at the highest level.
Morrigan. You know how much I enjoy fighting Morrigan now. It is sweet payback, you know?
Dude.
It is delicious to fight Morrigan now. I mean, I'm obviously gonna support like if I play Marvel 2,
whatever is being played, you would support.
If I knew how to play Marvel 2, like I came from Marvel 3, I'm a 12er. You know, if I didn't know Marvel 2 and there was a Marvel 2 tournament and I really liked it, I would definitely play it, like for sure. Like I give you that one. You know, if we're talking about a tournament circuit, or are we gonna ditch Infinite for 3? No, but I would still Marvel 3 if my homies were playing. You know, obviously yeah. No, that's 100%. That's 100%. I guess we kind of understood the question more like would you be like Smash went to Melee? I guess that's what I understood.
I mean, Melee was always being played. Mine got bigger when Brawl kind of.
Well, because Brawl was so different from Melee that I guess it kind of like divided the two communities. You know, so Melee was the main game.
You could say the same
even
for
after
3
Brawl.
and Infinite, technically.
Yeah, like
they
dude,
are very different from each other.
Like we had before I moved here to Kansas City. This scene had about 10 Marvel 3 players or whatever. Since I've been here, I've been the only Marvel 3 player. So like I've been here since the summer of 2015, and I have not had 2016, and haven't had anybody to play Marvel 3 with. But I was still going out to tournaments, and like I would just play online. I'd just be an online player, and like right now, if I wanted to play Marvel online, I would go with Marvel Infinite, just because like that game is internet. You know, the connection and just online is so much better. But like if they were equivalent, like I would still be playing Marvel. I would like, and it's not a knock on Infinite, but it's just like I'm not going to like be the best. I'm just going to have fun, and like both games are fun, and I just want to play with my homies. So I just go whatever.
But I think a lot of what carries games are the champions, you know, and Marvel 3's champions kind of stopped playing, and that is part of the reason why people did not exactly adopt Marvel 3 later on, because since all the top players were not playing, whereas Melee, even though like Brawl came out, all the Melee gods stayed with Melee because it was like the superior game in their opinion. So that is a really big difference between the both communities, Smash and like Capcom, FGC, whatever you want to call it. You know, I think it depends. Definitely, if for some reason magically we get a lot of numbers, it would be amazing. It could happen down the line, and there could be like one designated major where every like Marvel 2 or Marvel 3 head goes, just like Skullgirls does, and like I know a lot of like TFC specifically or CVS 2 players go to another major specifically because everybody goes there. That definitely could happen with Marvel 3. You know,
we just go to undefeated. like
that we could
all the Marvel games,
right.
Or versus.
Yeah, versus
has Marvel 2, Marvel 3, and Infinite. Yeah, that's
Infinite. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
we just start having those tournaments
for sure. But do we want it in the tournament circuit again? Can we handle both Marvel games at the same time? I don't know.
I don't want to split.
I don't think it's as much up to us as it is up to the TOs. Which TOs are going to run both at the same time, honestly. And
we're running both at KIT.
Exactly. Some TOs are going to do it, and some TOs aren't going to do it. So it's going to be up to us to like find the balance between the two if that's something we really want to do. But Kyle, I know you've been sitting there waiting, but we haven't got your 2 cents on it yet, so take it away.
Well, here are my whole 2 cents. I think that Mr. Wizard, that thing was like a total. He was just stirring a pot that like made no sense to be stirred, and then trolls. Also, shout out to all the trolls in the chat. Still going. Like I don't. Thanks for out with us and talking about Marvel so that you could just troll the chat. That's cool. I guess I'll bring it up because who is it? Super D? Super D nonstop. If we're going to talk about Chris G's rant on the topic.
Okay, I didn't watch this rant, so you
personally,
guys have to take this one away.
I mean,
yeah.
the main takeaway was that there's a weird shit talk from people we thought we would expect to have on our side from Capcom. I think that was the big thing, is that there was a lot of really weird about like people in Capcom not caring about Infinite and not caring about Battle of the Stones and how that happened. And Chris, I think, I don't know, I guess we're in the weird scenario where we all developer support. And I don't know, I'm having fun with the game. I think it's fantastic. I think that the game's finally kind of coming into its own news.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're starting to see people figure out what they're trying to do in matches and how they can do that in different play styles from the game. Sorts of like really amazing stuff like that. I don't want to go back to Marvel 3. Like my whole thing for these sitting in the lab and grinding stuff out and finding new stuff, I don't want to go back to something I've sat with for 7 years and do that again. And I think that honestly, that's how a lot of people feel. Like there are people that like ride or die for Marvel 3, and all of us did it for years and years, and we're all super excited. And with very, very few exceptions, like we're all playing Infinite. We're all grinding out, finding gross stuff, having fun playing, doing long sets. I have gripes about the game. I wish it didn't take as long to get between matches. I think that's such a downer when you have to wait like 30 seconds between a match.
All that
now.
salt.
You don't like the
Right.
thumbs up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not down with the esports thumbs up. I think it's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And like when I have like a 2.5 hour block of sessions, which used to be like a first to 100, and now it's like a first to like 70 or 40, 50. Like it's nowhere near, and it's just because of the downtime between matches. I think that's stupid.
It accumulates over time.
Yeah, I think in general, though, I think the game's fantastic. I think the new characters, a lot of people are having fun with those. I think once they hit the tournament scene, we're going to see a big shift in the meta again, because we're seeing a lot of new strategies that did not exist in any characters up until, 2 weeks ago? So, I don't know. I think it was absolutely ridiculous. We've had so much content. I did my big tweet that everyone blew up. Shout out to everyone that liked and shared it. That was by far my most popular tweet. So, but like, we've got 6 characters, 4 pack, 6 majors, 3 online qualifiers, like a grand final for a circuit. And you're going to come out 2 days after all. And we've had so many like locals and regionals and non-Battle of the Stones, like big events. Like, come on, the game's not going anywhere. I love Marvel. If you want, you're gonna do, and if you're having fun, but if you want to play matches, the online's great. The online training mode is amazing. The lobby is fantastic. I think this game was made to go the distance, and I think that more and more people are kind of having to fish for things. Like, people are still complaining about like Ugly Chun 3 months in after she's
not
I think
that
she looks
ugly anymore,
fine.
guys. Relax.
Yeah, like the worst you can say is like when she charges up her Kikosho super, like her mouth opens a lot. It's like,
How often do you
And
see that character?
Right.
Oh my
I could
God,
definitely
I
step
hate-
in and be like, well, as a female, we shouldn't be judging me by my looks. Anyways, but I don't do that. Because I get it. No, she had some issues, but she looks way better now than she did before. And that was a conscious effort that they made on behalf of the community. And so the second we stop supporting the game, the second we stop being vocal about our game, about how much we love this game, about how much we play this game, the second content is like not being made anymore by us because we're always the only ones to ever do it. Until that time comes, then we are really dead. But I don't really see that happening anytime soon. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I'm definitely. You're not gonna see me. I'm not gonna throw up. I saw someone like there's a hilarious tweet. Someone called us out. It's a bit early to be saying that. Years, like you don't know the history. We don't care about Marvel Lives anymore because it's perfectly alive. It's just That was the battle cry for forever.
The
I don't know.
spirit is in all of us.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to change our Twitter handle of Marvel's Perfectly Healthy. I don't know. Like,
follow us at Marvel's Perfectly Healthy.
At
You
Marvel's
guys, don't
Healthy.
worry about it. We're
That's the
perfectly
character
healthy.
limit.
no, definitely perfectly
Marvel's okay, guys.
Don't
Marvel.
worry.
healthy.
Marvel had
healthy
dinner.
Marvel.
Stop asking grandma.
All right, so honestly, you guys, is there anything left to cover right now before we kick over the open Marvel Live lobby to Merkel? He's going to be hosting it on his Twitch channel and his PSN lobby, which he will post in the stream chat, hopefully. And but any final words for the show? I know it's kind of abrupt, but we're definitely way over time now with all of our topics so far. I mean, I'm just going to keep mine short. Shout outs to the crew. Shout outs to everybody watching. Anybody playing Marvel Infinite or Marvel in general. I don't care which Marvel game you play. Just play and come watch us every first and third Tuesday. So shout outs to you guys. And I mean, during this outro, you guys can definitely say any of your final words to the stream. I'm just kind of trying to wrap it up because we're over time right now. So I'm going to start with our guest, of course, which I've done quite a few times. Airborne, thank you so much for joining us. Drop in those stats. Any final words for the stream or, you know, anybody watching?
It was a privilege to finally be on here after watching.
Yeah, we're going to bring you on more. I promise.
I appreciate that. I just remember, like, when y'all first started, when Kinder Party was still hosting, like, I'd have to leave his house early. We'd have to end sessions early so that he could start, like, be, like, watching it on my phone, trying to drive home and, you know, drive safely. I don't do that all the time.
Yeah, don't condone that.
But, anyways, yeah, like, from when I was, you know, not going to tournaments to when people started knowing my name and I was getting really nervous about that to, you know, just being known as the status. It's been definitely a privilege to see all of you guys in person and on stream and just talk about the game. I absolutely love talking about Marvel. It, like, obviously in game, not about this whole debacle with, you know, this white noise and everything.
Yes,
but the game's gonna keep going as long as we keep finding stuff. Answered Angelic's prayers, I think, the other day when I found an answer to Vadra that I forgot I had in Marvel 3, which is just web zip up and just laugh. So just, I mean, we still have plenty of things to find. Teams are looking more synergistic with more support-heavy characters being making high placing appearances in tournaments and all that stuff. But yeah, so shout outs to you guys, of course. Shout outs to the Kentucky Static Alpha. Love you guys. Shout outs to Net Battles, Nober, Kevin, everybody. Shout outs to the Zebu and Remy. And shout outs to the Spidey chat, Zero, aka the Spidey Guru, Kooky Manus, the stream monster that says some questionable things at times, but we love him. And everybody. So yeah, thanks.
Cool. Well, it was awesome having you. And, you know, I'm pretty sure we can work out something for next time because you are the man with all the stats. It's been awesome. So thank you for joining us.
Important
Jonas,
question though.
Oh,
are you going to be in the lobby?
Yeah, after this, are you going to be in the Marvel Live lobby? Spotlight question.
I'm still on Wi-Fi right now, so I don't think people will like that as much.
Rip.
I got to get my friend Matt.
But you're not even playing Power Stone, so it'll be all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Space Stone, so. And we are Venom, so.
All right. Jonas, any final words for the stream? What's up?
I'm sorry I got here late, guys. If anybody wants to play, add me on PSN, Racer Like Blue. I'm playing this game a lot.
What rank are you?
I'm ranked 9 or 10. I don't know. Thank you for putting me on the spot, Marcus. But yes, I've definitely been grinding on the ranked. And yes, thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys in the lobby.
Go. We gotta wrap it up.
And Marcus, any final words for the stream? What's up?
I was just gonna say this normal mantra, just shout outs to KIT, everybody should go to that. And then also just play whatever Marvel game that you like. Just play whatever Marvel game you like. And then I'm glad that we got Airborne on because apparently I don't say enough of his stats on, so we brought him on to say it himself. So
Yes, absolutely. And Merkel, give everyone the lowdown of where to find this PSN lobby right after this stream and your outro, of course.
So I'm just going to kick it off. Go to twitch.tv/Merkel999X. It's MERKYL999X. And do the same on Twitter. If you want an invite, just hit me up on Twitter, and I will shoot you an invite. It'll just be an 8-man lobby. It'll just be a standard stream, so not a whole lot going on. But yeah, I'll just do the rest on the stream, and I will see everyone there.
Awesome. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you for being awesome. Open PSN lobby. Merkel just gave you the lowdown. I'm sure he's going to drop the link in the Twitch chat. But for now, we're going to conclude tonight's episode. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to catch us every first and third Tuesday of every month, which means our next one's going to be on January 2nd. First show of the year. This is the last show of the year. So our first show of the year, January 2nd, in which we'll be going over some awesome KIT news. And our special guest is going to be BFTS champion himself, Cloud805. So look forward to that. Peace out. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time. All right, good night.
Guys.
Peace.
Hypercharge star.
Yeah, oh wait, no, it was Hyper Sentinel Force. Okay, no, we're out. Peace
Proton
out.
Cannon.